associated with sports is the wasting of time and money. How much time is wasted? People talking about sports. People talking about how good his shot was, Pakistan versus India. Right? They talk about Brazil, they talk about Argentina. People going crazy over football. Now everyone talking about Messi or Ronaldo. And you see on social media, there are Muslims from India, Pakistan, Bangladesh. You know something? They're crazy over Brazil and Argentina, ma'azallah. Right? The other day I saw a video, and I saw Bengalis, our Muslim brothers and sisters, and they were jumping around and saying, Messi, Messi, I love Messi. And I thought, subhanallah, this is the state of the Muslim Ummah. That these are your role models. Are these the people you aspire to be like? When that person, who I just named, he went to visit the state of Israel. He was hand in hand with Benjamin Netanyahu. These people have no connection to Allah Azza wa Jal and His Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. These people do not benefit me and you. These people cannot give me and you anything. And people are there idolizing them. Almost, ma'azallah, as though they are worshipping them. And arguing over them, slandering one another over them, backbiting, and swearing at each other as who is the best. And then the division of countries into different nations. And then these nations play against one another and different clubs. And then everyone has ta'assub, asabiyya. This is from jahiliyyah and ignorance. That the ummah has to realize that we as Muslims, we are united by La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. So it is absurd for Muslims to be pitched against one another in the in the passion and zeal of nationalism. This is something which is not in the spirit of our deen. So my dear brothers and dear elders, these are fitnas within our times. And especially when we see billions of pounds of Muslim money being spent on these useless and frivolous activities. And then Muslims are there cheering on the Moroccan national team. Everyone knows this, Morocco, the football team, yeah. And saying, subhanAllah, these players are doing sajda on a pitch. MashaAllah, they're meeting with their parents after the victory. SubhanAllah, they're standing for Palestine. But even within those matches in that World Cup, there was one individual who was present there, Emmanuel Macron. He is the French president. He insulted Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. And he is allowed into a Muslim country and watch entertainment. This is a shame upon the Ummah. How such an individual who insulted Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam today has set foot in Jaziratul Arab. And this is a shame upon Muslims. Muslims need to realize. And in response, what do Muslims do? That they chanted kalima, they waved flags. Subhanallah, and we think our job is done. Wallahi, our job is not done. There are millions of Muslims starving in Palestine, in Yemen, in Syria, in Iraq, across the world. Muslims who live below the poverty line. Muslims who don't have basics. Who've lost all their families, their homes, their land, their livelihoods, everything. And who even struggle to reach Europe for a better livelihood. And many of them have been killed along the way. Many of them have died. Many of them have drowned. Many of them in the back of lorries. Do we think of all this poverty in the world? And our Muslim leaders are spending billions and billions of pounds on these useless activities. Dear Muslims, it's time to wake up. A sajda is not just done on a football pitch. A sajda is done in a masjid. In the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And let me tell you with regards to this, recently in Egypt, there was the African Nations Cup. Everyone has heard of the African Nations Cup. Those of you who follow football will know. And in the country, in the land of Egypt, the Imam of the masjid, it was time for namaz, azan happened. And there were no namazis. So the Imam had to go outside and find someone to lead in salah. And you know the reason why? सब मैच देख रहे थे. ये मिस्र में, इस्लामी मुल्क में, फुटबॉल का मैच हो रहा है और नमाजी मस्जिद को छोड़ गए. ये है मुसीबत मुसलमानों पे. खेल में इतना जज्बा, इतना जोश, और हम समझते हैं कि वाह वाह इतना बड़ा फतह हो गया है, इतना बड़ा काम हो गया है, तरक्की हो गई है, सुभान अल्लाह. अरे हमारे प्लेयर्स जो हैं वो मैच में सजदे करते हैं और मैच के बाद अल्लाह का शुक्र गुजारते हैं. सुभान अल्लाह. हमें ये सोचना चाहिए कि हमारी मसाजिद खाली क्यों हैं? Why are our masjids empty? Why are our masajid not full? And then there was one Muslim woman, a reporter from India, and you know what she did? She said, I saw Lionel Messi, the football player, And I saw that he lost a match in the World Cup. So I wanted to talk to him, being a journalist. So I took out a number of years of my life in order to learn Spanish, just so that I can go and speak to this man and ask him questions. SubhanAllah. This is the state of the Ummah. What if that woman instead learned Arabic, the language of the Quran, the language of the Hadith? Would that not be better to benefit you in your dunya and your akhirah? Arabic, the language of the Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam, the language of the akhirah. But instead, our priorities are fixed somewhere else. Dear Muslims, dear elders, know very well Allah Ta'ala has given us the guidance. لَقَدْ كَانَ لَكُمْ فِي رَسُولِ اللَّهِ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ. That indeed, in the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is the best example for you. बेशक Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam की ज़ात अक़दस में, प्यारी ज़ात पाक sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam में सबसे बेहतर नमूना है मुसलमानों के लिए. तो अगर हम सुन्नत को छोड़ेंगे तो हमें क्या मिलेगा? ज़िल्लत और रुसवाई के सिवा कुछ भी नहीं. दर दर पे मंगतों की तरह हम जाएंगे, कुछ भी नहीं हासिल होगा. तो ये हमारे मुसलमान हुक्मरान जो दुनिया में कुफार को राजी करने के लिए, कुफार को खुश करने के लिए ऐसे कामों में मुब्तला हैं, तो आप लोग देख सकते हैं कि कुफार कैसे हमें देखते हैं. क्या वो कबूल करेंगे? मेरे रब तबारक व तआला ने कुरान में क्या इरशाद फरमाया है? लन तर्दा अनकल यहूद वलन नसारा हत्ता तत्तबिअ मिल्लतहुम, कि कभी भी यहूदी और कभी भी नसरानी तुम्हारे साथ है मुसलमान राजी नहीं होगा जब तक मज़हब पर नहीं चलेगा. ये रब का फरमान है, ये रब का फैसला है, ये कुरान अज़ीम है. That never ever will the Jew nor the Christian be pleased with you until you follow their religion. And this is why at the time of fitna, dear Muslims, we need to cling to the Sunnah of Pyare Mustafa sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. He is our guide, he is our role model, and the Sahaba are our real heroes. The real heroes are the Mujahideen of Islam, who spread Islam to Spain and Portugal, not beat them in football matches. The real heroes are Tariq bin Ziyad. Has anyone heard of Tariq bin Ziyad? Has anyone heard of Musa bin Nusayr? SubhanAllah, I'm seeing a very small number of hands. Tariq bin Ziyad rahimahullah, he was the Muslim general who was sent by the Umayyad Caliphate to Spain and Portugal to conquer the land for Islam. When he landed in the place which is now called Gibraltar, but in reality is Jabal Tariq, the mountain of Tariq, what did he do? He had a number of ships, he had an army. He burned those ships, and his army was gobsmacked. He said, Ya Amir, why are you burning our ships? How will we return back to the Muslim land in Morocco? He said, you either fight here for the sake of Allah and give your life, or you either fight here and you conquer this land for the sake of Allah. That was the jazba of jihad and the jazba of the Muslims. And you know what he did? Within 2 years, the entire Iberian Peninsula, Spain and Portugal, was in Muslim hands. These are our heroes. These are the people you need to learn about and know the history of Islam. That Islam was that religion which caused kings and queens of Europe to tremble and shake. And Islam was that religion which was knocking on the doors of Vienna in 1683, the Ottoman Turks. Islam was the religion of Sultan Abdul Hamid II, rahimahullah ta'ala, who when the French decided to make a play mocking Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the Sultan said, if you go ahead with this play, I will declare jihad on you. That is Islam. And what did the French do? They cancelled that play. These were our leaders. Not those people who went to them and bowed before them and tried to please them, sell our lands to them, give our oil to them, give our wealth to them, sell the religion to them. No. Allahu Akbar. It is time for Muslims to wake up. And it is time for Muslims to return to the legacy of the Sahaba and of the Ahlul Bayt alayhimur ridwan. Look at the sacrifice those pure people gave for me and you to practice Islam. Sayyidina Khalid ibn al-Walid radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, Sayfun min suyufillah, who broke 9 swords in the battle of Muta against the Romans. 9 swords he broke, fighting in the plains of Jordan. Go and visit their mazars. Go and visit their places of resting. And you will see the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that these are our real heroes. This is our real legacy. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the true guidance of Islam and grant us a true connection to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, his Sahaba, his Ahlul Bayt, and the awliya of Islam. I ask Allah especially to rectify me for any mistakes and to guide us all upon the right path. Any goodnesses from Allah, any weaknesses are from myself. وَمَا عَلَيْنَا إِلَّا الْبَلَاغُ الْمُبِينُ.